I'm William Nozak, and in this module, I'm talking to you about a keyword and SEO content plan. Why do you need a SEO content plan? SEO is essential to gain a competitive edge over the competition. 49% of small businesses invest in SEO. Quality SEO strategies can propel your business to number one in the SERPs. If not number one, you can get featured images, you can get featured bleeds, featured snippets. You can even get page one and get value from being in the top 10. Without an SEO content plan, your business will fail to get organic traffic or conversions. And right, organic traffic is a big part of the pipeline. It's organic traffic, searchers searching in Google, Yahoo, Bing, DuckDuckGo, all these engines. And then of course we've got traffic coming from the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things like that. And then we've got our email marketing efforts, and then we've got our word of mouth efforts, our networking, and then we're out going to trade shows, and we're having events for clients, and we're sending out money mailers, and we're on billboards in the city, and we've got radio ads, right? This is our pipeline. This is our marketing strategy. Organic is a huge chunk of that marketing strategy online. And a big part of it is content. So one, we're gonna create a list of topics, do keyword research, build pages for each topic, create a blogging schedule, gain backlinks, stay current on SEO practices and news, and measure and track your content success. What are keywords? And this is what we look at as queries. When we say keywords, we're meaning queries. And this is the foundation of SEO. It's not branding. I'm not creating a query. That's branding. I'm looking at how people are already looking in the search engines and then building my content to rank against that. Rank against those queries that already exist. I'm not creating a need. I'm matching up against those needs that we've identified. And that those queries really match up against what our value proposition is and how our business is different. So terminologies that potential customers use when searching for a specific product or service on a search engine. Keywords help people find a business and its content and or products. Two types of keywords, short tail, long tail. You might look at short tails like maybe 1 or 2 words. Someone might include, say, 3 words. And then anything 3 or 4 words or more we'll call long tail. Long tail keywords tend to be less competitive. Also tend to be down at the bottom of the funnel where people really know what they want and they're going to type out a whole sentence and that's what they want. And so when we can match up content against these long tail, and we'll talk about that, it really can help us dig in for potential buyers. How to use keywords in SEO content. Keywords should be woven into every aspect of the site. And so when we understand what the property is trying to rank for as a whole, right, that's the theme of the website. And then we've got a theme of the homepage, right? What's the theme or the scope of the homepage? And then we've got these interior pages or these service pages maybe, or product pages. Might call those the interior pages. They're kind of like our main landing pages. We might look at those as additional home pages. It's a home page when you're searching for this service. We don't need them to hit the home page of the business. We need to have them hit the thing they're looking for. And so we want to treat those as individual home pages. And then we might have a blogging strategy with categories or tags, or both. And those each kind of stay in their own lane, propping up the theme of the website, and say that each may have their own theme. And so a blog and a landing page, they're each going to have a theme, and we want to stay within the theme of that page. And so avoid black hat tactics like keyword stuffing. We may have the keyword in the slug if it makes sense. We're certainly going to have it in the meta title. We'll include it in the meta description, maybe so that Google or the search engines can bold it and show that, again, this is a direct hit piece of content. Certainly would probably have some variation or synonym of it in the H1 and in a couple H2s, and certainly weave throughout the content, and then an image that we can title some variation of that keyword or synonym or something connected to that. So the image needs to make sense, so we can also file name that, title it, alt text it, etc. We really want to show the bots that this is what this page is about. Of course, we don't want to gate it down too hard, because remember, keywords are not a single keyword. They are a keyword cloud, and also related searches and related keywords that those pages rank for. So we don't want to just squash it down, but we want to stay within scope. And that's the big thing. Don't squash it down to a keyword, squash it down to a cloud. Keep it in scope, cover all things in scope, have additional pages when we're starting to get out of scope of that page. And make sure that page is in scope of that section of your website and is in scope of the website. So each site page should be built around a specific keyword. Again, keyword cloud. URL should incorporate the URL should incorporate the target keyword when it makes sense, geo-modify it when it makes sense. H2s, H3s should be in scope, relevant to the target keyword cloud. We want to include that in the H2s. People don't read web pages like they read a book. We don't just read tons and tons of pages, 10 pages with no header. On a web page, we scan content. That's why we use white space. We use a lot of white space when we're writing. 1 and 2 sentence paragraphs is totally common and totally a good thing. And so we don't want to create these really blocky paragraphs. People don't read that way when they're reading websites. So we want to create headings and then include that content that goes under that heading. Another heading in H2 that's within scope of that keyword cloud, and then this content that's in that area. And then another H2 or an H3 because there's another section underneath that H2 that we want to talk about. And so this is how we structure pages across sites for easy reading, for easy scanning. People can really get to what they want to read about very quickly. And the bots can by the way we use our HTML, can tell what that page is about and when it should pop against certain queries. So optimize images to include keywords. We don't want to, just lie about it. We want to use an image that makes sense for us to call that image some variation of that keyword, so using it in a long tail form. And then that's why picking images is super important. Original images is so much more important than canned images. Include keywords throughout the copy, the density 1 to 3. Really, that's just a space, but longer or shorter. They could be higher or lower. We just don't want to be spammy. We don't want to be obnoxious to read. It just needs to be a good read, but there certainly also needs to be some sort of density there. Tracking the competition's keywords. So keywords should be woven into every aspect of the site. That's thematically, that's pages, that's blogs, that's how people search for your product. Like that's having it in the logo. You're XYZ company and you're a brokerage firm right there in your tagline. Because everywhere I put XYZ company, I also going to put brokerage firm. So we're weaving that language throughout the whole site, right from the top, right from the go. So always be aware of your competitors' keywords. We certainly want to see what they're ranking for, how they're positioning against organic searches. Granted, their ad strategy will certainly be different. Their email marketing strategies will certainly be different. We want to get a pulse on these things so that we can identify their strengths and replicate them. Tools like BuzzSumo, SEMrush, Ahrefs, SpyFu can help with the competitive analysis of competitors. You are always running competitive analysis over competitors. If you've ever used the Wayback Machine, go Google it, Wayback Machine. You can look at your competitors over time. They are in like 5 iterations of their website by now, and you can see how their position has changed over time, what they've learned, how they're positioning against clientele, right? They're still here, they're making money, they're growing, they're spending more on their development. Clearly they have eyes to the ground, or they've got their ear to the ground, and they're seeing something about their clients. Look at that positioning change. And try to stay a couple feet ahead or a couple iterations ahead of your own evolution with your own messaging and value proposition. So make data-driven decisions to improve your keywords in SEO. Certainly we're not just going off someone's perspective, opinion. Oh, this is how people use the word. You do not know. You're a business owner. You are not downstream of your product. Have you been surveying? Have you been asking on the phone, how did you hear about us? Oh, awesome, Google. If you remember, what did you look up? Certainly they may tell us, that last attribution, the last thing they searched, but if they told us, that whole chain of things they search, how they got here, oh my gosh, that's gold. But you don't know. So look up how the site's ranking. And then also, is that how we want to be positioned? Are we getting good click-through rates? Are we getting good impression loads with clicks? And are those clicks turning into leads? And maybe we're not positioned well. And right, this is the iteration process. We want to win in organic. It takes time. It takes iterations. You're not going to get it right the first time. So what keyword tools should be used? Most valuable and easiest SEO keyword tool is Google Search Console. Connect your website with Search Console in the DNS, just a little TXT record. We'll show that in the video. And then you're going to get all kinds of great data. How are we doing impression loads? How are we doing click loads? How are we doing click-through rates? How are we doing with certain keywords? How are we doing branded-wise? How many people go to Google and search our name? How are our branding efforts working? We're getting our name out there. People are going to search our name or our product name or some type of slogan that maybe we're also trying to brand. So Google Search Console can inform you of which of your pages is generating the most impressions, the most clicks. We go in here all the time and analyze when a client is Mayday. We go in here and take a look. Okay, sweet. Impression loads are still up for all the important keywords. It looks like maybe your branded terms are down. Did you stop some type of campaign that was causing people to go into Google and search you? Yes, we pulled this budget. There you go. That's your impression load. That's why it's going down. Or, during times like a COVID, when people just stop searching for those things. It's not that your impression changes, it's that impression load and the click load, people stop searching those things. We're still in the same positions. When they start to look again, we'll still be positioned. And we want to keep doing what we're doing, because some of those businesses that were once positioned there may go out of business for weird times like this. And we keep positioning, keep working, we may end up in a better position. Another free resource is Google Keyword Planner. And so the Keyword Planner is really going to show you how much ads are going to cost for certain queries. And so we can mark up that language, see what people are paying for them. If people are willing to pay for them, that's market forces. And the cost of ads in Google and Facebook are driven by market forces. They're not defining them. It's an auction. Like, what are people willing to pay? And so if they're willing to pay for it, it certainly gives us an idea that they're probably a certain amount of clicks are turning into a certain amount of leads. And so of course that becomes a scalable part of our online pipeline, our digital marketing pipeline. But we're also going to weave that information when we see click-through rates, quality scores, how people interact with that language, weave that back into our organic and our SEO. We're going to use both of them together, kind of like a push and pull. And so we want to find out what works on both sides and really try to align those strategies. Keyword Planner allows you to input a website URL, generates a list of suggested keywords, along with average monthly searches, level of competition, average cost per click. Certainly you have to spend money to make these lessons. You have to start somewhere, and it could cost you anywhere from $100 a month to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, depending upon the competition and how much you're ready to pay to grow. Ahrefs has a keyword explorer among the best paid options. We use Ahrefs every single day. Our content writers are always using it. It's a great resource, a great index, gives lots of great details. What is is SEO content? It's blogs. It's having a blog strategy over the year. It's understanding what is a gap analysis, what have the competition written about, and have pages that actually get a ton of traffic at the top of the funnel. So they're starting to brand because they're seen in all this top of the funnel content. And then when people start to look for companies, they get down there in the middle of the funnel, they're starting to search for companies. There they are again. And then at the bottom of the funnel, there's their local map, and there's their organic search, and they're paying for ads. And so this is a holistic approach. We want to have content at the top. That's why we have a blogging strategy. That's why we look at the gap analysis. That's why we do research over keywords, keyword phrases, short and long tail, and see the whole macro strategy of what we can write about, and make sure we have pages and blogs that actually give us an opportunity. And then we go over time and look at them and improve them, add to them, change them, redirect to other resources that are competing with them. And really, this is this holistic SEO approach. It takes a team. That's evergreen content. That's a part of the strategy. Making videos, if you've got a studio like we do, you can make video content. Turn all your blog content into video content, and vice versa. Turn all your video content into blog content. Strip out your video audios and turn that into a podcast, and just reuse and recycle your content. Always recycle this content. Because you wrote it and we published it in February does not mean you shouldn't publish it in another month where it's applicable. Keep getting people to come to it so Google keeps seeing it's fresh. Add to it, hit update, re-index it with Google Search Console. These are all techniques to help get that ball rolling, because it can be a slow ball it's going to be a slow roll for some people in some industries and some marketers. So interactive tools, surveys, infographics, quizzes, ebooks, anything you can add of value, white papers, educate them, give them some type of free training videos if you can afford to do it, training people, giving training, allowing them to get into your subscribe to your journey so that they can get some information from you. If you've got really good content teams, there's value there for end users. Product service pages, this is all an SEO content strategy. So create a list of topics, right? This is that macro strategy. You open up a Google Sheet, you're gonna put the keyword or in one tab and a keyword in another tab, or maybe our main services in tabs. And then we're going to break down that service into what are the macro categories. What do people typically ask about this? They always ask about the cost. They always ask about logistics. They always ask about the warranty. They always ask about this, that. So we get this list, A through whatever, of macro categories. And then inside that macro category, we figure out how many different blogs or topics do we need to cover, and can they be combined? Do they need to be separate? Keeping them in scope. So the first step is to have that content strategy. You're going to do a macro strategy, and then you're going to do a blog strategy on a different tab, where here's the macro, here are the blogs we need. Now we need to go mark up those blogs and against keyword clouds. And we don't want to have one keyword, one blog. We want to have keyword cloud blog. So we're talking 1,000 words to 5,000 words occasionally, sometimes 750. That can be the case. So fully flesh out everything in your space that could attract relevant traffic leads. And once we get that fleshed out, then we're going to get our writers on board. So do keyword research. Conducting research and analyzing the competition should be the next step to discovering high value keywords. That's why we need a tool like SEMrush or Ahrefs. We look at us, we look at them, we pull a gap, we see what they're ranking for, we see what their authority is and how hard we need to go at getting some local newspapers to link to us, or reaching out to other blogs to link to our content. And really just generating content on the site in itself is going to generate some authentic leads links. And so we want to share it on our social media, share it again, share it on friends, get people to start linking to it. Doing press releases online is a good way to get some link graph developed. Even those would mostly be no follow links. It still kind of makes this robust link graph that's still somewhat crawlable in some cases. Not all of them will come through if you've ever done PRs online as no follows. And so there's some value there. Getting the company's name mentioned in Yahoo and Bing. So like this keyword research, we're really looking at the competition. Of course, we have to think about their strength as well, but the keywords that they're ranking for, does it make sense for us to rank for? And then here's the next competitor. What keywords are they ranking for? And here's the next competitor. What keywords are they ranking for? Yes, domain authority in the link situation is going to matter with what keywords they can attack. That's why you want to take a stair-step approach. You want to take on the keywords that match up probably against your buyers for your organic strategy. You don't want to shoot for the moon. You're not Elon Musk. You maybe want to take a trip to the city next door. So that's this keyword research, seeing what strength they have, what they require, and seeing if we can't get into some easier ones, or if you've got a website with all the authority, you're going at the at the short tails, you're going at the hardest ones. Really depends upon who you're working with and what the strength of the property is. So build pages for each topic. Build a primary page for each topic you want to rank for. That would maybe be our service pages or landing pages, or categories or tags. And then we're writing these individual blog posts against a keyword cloud. Remember, it's not just a single keyword, it's the cloud of keywords, but they are all kind of just, when someone says this is what they mean. Like VoIP and SIP would be two different pages, even though maybe those are the same thing. 3CX, probably the same thing. Another similar page, those to me would be 3 pages. Now all things about VoIP, that would be as best I can on one page. When it starts to get out of scope, I'll have another page about those things that I need to talk about, that I don't want to write on this page about, because it will pull this one out of scope. And so that's really what we're looking at, is having resources and linking horizontally to those resources, and then really in the first paragraph or 2 of those pages, linking vertically to more authoritative bottom of the funnel pages. So we want to build our content strategy this way. Create a blogging schedule. Certainly we're talking about pages and posts. We're talking pages and posts. You've got a strategy to add more pages over time, and also a blogging strategy, content that can be shared, consumed, that strengthens our main landing pages. Our main landing pages or service pages are really focusing on a certain way people are looking for it. You know, they really want to come in and buy, or get into our call us, or get into our funnel. Then maybe we have these other blogs that just keep on talking about these additional topics that our main landing pages are not covering. And then we go to those main landing pages, and are you also curious about this? And then we've got these internal links that now take them to additional resources, hopefully down the funnel, right? We want these people down the funnel. We want them to hit this page and hopefully convert. But if they're still reading and need to consume more information, certainly want to tell them that we can provide that more information, not trying to withhold that information. And also, the bots find those pages very authoritative, because we can send them to this page, and we know if the bot an algorithm might say this might, perform this way. This page is a really good resource because we know when they don't find it here, they'll be able to click another resource and they'll probably find it there. And that's a win if I'm a search engine and I'm trying to get people to really to get as close to the result that they're trying to get to, right? Because if they're trying to figure out searcher's intent, a bot trying to figure out searcher's intent, and they can't totally, they might send them to a landing page that's it's just got all these other links. It's great information, but additional links. So create that schedule. That's additional landing pages, and then landing pages and additional pages, and then really just maybe even a seasonal blog can be applicable. Things that are right now and timely. If you're a news source, that of course is a strategy. Most sites and companies we work with the websites are not necessarily news sites, but they're just kind of like lead gen sites. So really the amount of seasonal stuff that's written on them is kind of smaller versus things that really we want to rank forever, and we want to add to them and be authoritative in the space, grab some expertise, authority, and trust. So don't forget backlinks, right? We backlinks change the authority of a page. That's one of the ways that the bots or the spiders really value a page. It's like a handshake, it's a friendship. Oh, you've got a lot of friends, your page must be important. And so we really have to focus on really good links though. Of course, for a website or a company, you might add your company to directories. Authoritative directories once upon a time gave a huge benefit to a company. Now it's really just expected. It's like the flora and fauna of the internet. Now when it comes to these additional links of people linking to your resource or linking to your content, your blogs, or your pages, these really show Google in the link graph where you exist. Oh wow, these guys are really a content producer. They're really up here. A lot of people link to them. They're authoritative. Let's give them more of the long tails. And so that can take time, but that can be done by anybody. Doesn't matter what company or what industry or niche you're in, it really can be set up where you can be at the top of the link graph. And you're doing that by a content strategy. And so we want to build our content so that it garners natural links. At the same time, we want to share it in social media and even have reach out campaigns. We're reaching out to other resources where we find that they're linking to an old resource and maybe they'd like to link to a new, more authoritative or unique perspective, or also link out to ours that may have something that says something in addition or a subtraction to what they've linked out to. Stay current on SEO practices and news. Google's going to keep changing the algorithm, and that's totally okay, as they should. And while they're in control, and while Bing is in play, and Yahoo and DuckDuckGo, we're certainly making we're always keeping the eye to the ground. Search Hustle will always keep their eye to the ground. We are an arm of an agency. We have to stay at the bleeding edge. This is how you stay at the bleeding edge. You stay in a program that explains to you this is a change. And really, if you do all these things right along the way, the algorithmic penalties, the algorithm changes, they really shouldn't hit you negatively. If you're doing things well, you're focusing on the end user, you're focusing on high quality content, you're focusing on fast pages, you're not reaching out for spammy backlinks and doing dirty black hat techniques. Honestly, we never see algorithmic penalties with our client list. We always look when, oh, there's a big update. Now all of our clients are always just this way, just this way. Of course, this way is important as long as those tofu have a potential to drop into mofu and bofu, right? We don't just want to have a huge cloud of non-qualified searchers. We certainly want to be the expert that can include impression loads and click loads of people that really never have an intention to buy. And that is a part of the process. At the same time, we want to have that content that also has second level content that's people that are really kind of like true buyers, true users, but really in the end, maybe all of them are true buyers, maybe just not on that day, because today they think they're a DIY, and that's fine. So stay current. Google's always going to say, if we look at SEO and marketing is 10 levers, and Google's organic's got 10 levers, your pipeline's 10 levers, and then your SEO ranking factors are 10 levers. Google's going to be looking at SEO companies and people that are abusing the algorithm, and they're going to pull that lever down. And when they pull that lever down, all of a sudden these others have more accent. They have more sway. It's not maybe that Google changed them, or maybe they did. It's that when we pull this one down, all of a sudden this other thing is more obvious, and then SEOs go over there and they say, oh, this is making all the change, and then Google pulls down that lever, and all of a sudden there's something else. And so really we want to be focusing on all 10 dials, but not obnoxiously. We just want to be holistic. Good content, great internal linking structure, lean, easy to use images that strengthen the page, content in multiple forms from video, audio to content, backlinks that are authentic and organic, directories that are high quality, primaries, secondaries, and even aggregates and things like that. And then a good outreach strategy with your social media is moving. And if you're a local or a service company, your GMB's got reviews that come in at a consistent clip, and we're responding to them, and we're running ads if that's a part of our growth strategy, which in most cases it should be. Measure and track. So you're using a lot of tools. You're using Search Console, you're using Google Analytics to pipe in different information, different data points. You're using Data Studio to look at aggregate data from different data points in a visual perspective. You're using your SEO tools to make sure that you're staying on top of your P's and Q's with your development, and your developers are doing a good job with the HTML and CSS and site speeds and usability. Yeah, you're maybe on 5G, 6G, 100G, and it really loads really fast, but how's it loading for the person that's in a valley on cellular network using some type of rural internet service, right? That matters. And so these load times we need to understand, and that's all the way from choosing the right server, which we'll cover some of those things, to using CDNs and caching plugins and keeping your pages simple and sleek and lean, and not doing things that are so flashy but costly on speed, right? Because flash and speed, they're always going to be in competition for pages. So we want to track all the things from the impression loads, clicks, leads, and sales to our SEO metrics. How are the pages doing click-through rates? How are they doing in the SERPs, keywords? How's the content change we just made? How's this new page causing the rest of the site to perform, or other pages? And of course, these things you don't really see overnight. Over time, they're really more trackable, and that's why we track these things over time, right? We want to measure, we want to pay attention. Keyword and SEO content plan. If you need to watch that again, go back now. If not, I'll see you in the next module.